Can everybody hear me? Good? I know we can't. Oh, I'll step over this way. Okay, so, all right, how's everybody doing today? Good? Yeah? Who here is this their first year at GrrCON? Awesome. Well, this is my 7th year. This is also my first year of talking. So if it's a complete shit show, I apologize in advance. So my talk is going to be on the brochure. It says something completely different. I changed it. So it's learning AppSec on the fly. Basically, what I'm going to go over is my first year in application security and kind of the things that I learned on the way. So who am I? Well, my name is Whitney Phillips. I've been in IT and information security for about 7 years. I started as a help desk specialist, so doing those first call resolution, password resets, basically any quick ticketing system. Next, I was that jack of all trades network admin, so I did anything from desktop administration to deployment of a whole new branch or server administration, and this is kind of where I got my first little break into security. I did proxy administration and antivirus. Next, I finally got my real security job in security operations. I did incident response and disk forensics, managed a AV system for a global company, and I also ran a huge encryption project for this company as well. Which leads me to my current role in application security. So, why are we here? Well, Whitney needed a job. So, last year at this time, my company that I was at went through a big reduction in force, about 200 IT people, which was leading me to need a job. So after 30 interviews, or some odd interviews, well, I found a job. Yay. So I found this application security job, right? Seems legit, big sell. It was vulnerability management, right? Said nothing about coding. Okay, cool. I know vulnerabilities. I've done that before. So it leads me to my first day. This is me sitting. First day, excited. Fast forward to my first day. I am meeting with my boss, and we're going over the objectives, and this happens. Did you just say secure code review? Okay. What? Yeah. So he's going over the objectives, and he's talking manual code review, static and dynamic code analysis would be my primary, and oh, maybe an open source scanning project. Or open source scanning, project. So, I see what they mean about vulnerability management. I panicked. This is where you have to start learning all the things about coding. I knew I had to do something. So, do you ever feel like this, like your first couple weeks on the job, trying to blend when I'm on calls with the developers and they know I don't know anything? I'm like, yes, your code is not right. Why? This says so. So that leads me to how I got to know the vulnerabilities. So about a month in to working at my current job, I was running a dynamic scanning project. And with dynamic scanning projects, you do get a lot of vulnerabilities from the different web apps. Yes. The vulnerabilities, they're everywhere. I was on scoping calls with development teams, hearing their stories, trying to
Whitney, where's your mic?
It's in my chest.
Whitney, we're sorry, but we had to interrupt your talk. Guys, there's bad cases of Gerbola going around. If you have any mild fever, sore throat, come and get some Febreze. Have a wonderful talk.
Thanks.
We love you.
Woo. I just got gerbled, apparently. All right, so I had to do something. There's vulnerabilities everywhere when you're running dynamic scans, so I knew I had to do something. So what did I do? So I utilized the tools that I had with me. So our particular AppSec department, we utilized a tool that gave you how to fix the code and basically how to remediate the code and what to tell the developers. So when I used to think of SQL injection like this, I now have to think of it like this. So you have to look for those places where application could be querying SQL database, or if a page isn't completely static, it's probably retrieving information. You have to think of it that way. I know people have their opinions about OWASP, but OWASP top 10, I lived in it, living in it still. I've got good information. And you can go to the vulnerabilities, and there's also like a secure code review section that you can tie back into. So live in that page. I also turned to my teammates for guidance. So our team members, anybody who's been in that position for a long time, they're going to have more experience than you, and they're going to be able to give you the answers, or at least direct you in the way that you want to fix your issue. I mean, maybe I asked too many questions. I'm not sure. Did I ask too many questions? No? So, Google often, any IT organization that you're in, constantly using Google, whether it's Googling vulnerabilities or maybe how do I write good code? And I'm sure that is what the developers do when they need to find how to write good code, maybe. So that leads me to how do you engage with those developers? So being an AppSec, you spend a lot of time either with the developers or looking at their code or looking at the vulnerabilities that their code produce. So you'll learn that you're kind of the bad guy to developers, and you'll just kind of have to push through that. Yes, they're web apps. They'll have a lot of vulnerabilities, and you might even get asked questions like, why are you punishing me for all these vulnerabilities? I don't know. Why do you code bad? So I don't know what to say. So what can we do? Maybe we can ask the development team their thought process. That might be hard. Spend time with your developers. Have them explain their coding thoughts. This way you can kind of build that relationship, get their reasoning. Or they'll just tell you, that's not cross-site scripting, that's just how my code works. Or, that's not cross-site scripting, that's just a style. So, no, that's literally been told to me. Or it's a feature. It's a feature, guys. So, or you could just go to Stack Overflow to think like a developer. So, or you could just see where they have copied and pasted their code into a production environment. So they go to that page to basically, find answers to their code. So why don't we go and see what they are looking at as well? And finally, you want to build that relationship with the development team. As painful, I'm sorry, developers, I don't mean to pick on you, but as painful as it is, because what I've learned is through my dynamic scanning project, I had to start up an open source scanning project as well, and I'm working with the exact same group of developers who now have vulnerable open source in their code. So I already have that relationship built, and they are more responsive to me now. So that's enough picking on our good developers. So What else can we do with AppSec? We can get involved. I have joined quite a few different areas in social media, so I've got quite a few friends on LinkedIn that are involved in AppSec as well as Twitter. It's a great area to be able to just go out, message somebody. Just a few weeks ago, I messaged somebody about the talk and what points would you want to hear. I know you're an AppSec. What would you want to hear in a talk? Just getting involved in the community. You can go to a local OWASP chapter meeting. I went to one in Chicago a few weeks ago, and we ran a huge capture the flag event, and it was awesome because you got to see those vulnerabilities firsthand. It was on a banking application, so something that was of interest of me. And I mean, the networking there it's great. And then the OWASP meetings, you don't have to pay for them. So you have that free networking, you have the community, and yeah, I enjoyed it quite well. You can also become an OWASP member. I just did that recently. What it provides back to our open source community. It also looks really good on a resume. So, but yeah, they're out there making, doing open source projects and making application security better. You can also volunteer. I volunteer for the MIC3. It's a group of cyber civilians who help the state out if they're in need of cybersecurity incident response. It's a great group of people. I've learned a lot. It's not directly focused with the application security, but it still keeps me in that security focus. Ray Davidson, he has a booth out there. Go talk to him, and he'll give you a lot of information on how to become a member. It's free. It's fun. It's a good cause. So with the cyber civilian, I'm always learning new things with that, and then I'm always learning new things with my new position in application security. I stumbled across a few books when I was researching my talk, and this one, first of all, is definitely a great book to read. So what you'll do when you open it up, it gives you the attack, the CWE, what program languages the attack affects, and then it turns around and kind of shows you how to fix that problem. So I enjoy it. It's a very good reference point from both the secure coding and the vulnerability side of things. My next book, Web Application Hacker's Handbook. I like that book a lot. I used it for my Capture the Flag event. It's got a lot of great information in it. Kind of just something you want in your back pocket when you're on the application security side. There's also, I don't know if you guys know, Mike Kemp's been mentioned a couple times today. He actually has a page. If you have the second edition of this book, he's in the book. So, oh, clappy monkey. And if you haven't already, send him a message on Twitter because, well, he needs it. So what else can we do? What else can we do? Free training. So I use Cybrary a lot. It's got a lot of free courses and then paid ones, but quick information if you just want to crash course on secure coding. I go through those maybe once a month. So fun fact, the girl that's up here, the instructor, her name is Sunny Weir. I actually work with her, so I get kind of geeked out every time I see her doing a training course, and then I go talk to her on a developing call. So there are really good developers out there that, you know, do good things. We have inexpensive training. So Udemy is another decent one to use. It's a little bit, it runs maybe like $5 to $20 per course. Um, but I took like a penetration testing one. They've also got secure coding. Just another good source of training information if budget's tight at work or you just can't get them to pay for it and you have to pay out of pocket. More training. Pluralsight. That's another training course site. It probably runs about $300 a year, but maybe it's something you could get work to pay for. Definitely has a lot of good information with it as well. And finally, keep coming to conferences. I know my first conference was at GrrCON. I was starting as a help desk specialist, and it definitely sparked that drive and that want to be in cybersecurity. So just keep going to the conferences. Come to GrrCON, then maybe test the waters out in the larger conferences. But these are where it's at. Talk to your speakers. Get to know people here, because that's how you make those connections for the better jobs and being able to just being able to network. So finally, what I want you to take away from this is, even if you're starting in a new position, it's going to be like panic at first, and then once you find your groove, you're going to be able to sell yourself and find where you want to be in that position. So I'm growing in application security. It's come a long way. I definitely feel like I've got a few more years that I need to grow and develop, but other than that, I've found it to be a really fun field to be in. So I went really fast. I'm pretty sure Aaron told me I was going to do that. So this is my contact info. Anybody have any questions? Yeah? Oh, go ahead. Oh, yeah. ZooSec in Kalamazoo is a really good group to be in. I don't know. Do you have any suggestions, Mr. Street? Oh, DEF CON groups? Yeah, there you go. DEF CON groups. Um, Go ahead. Just web apps. So, thankfully. Yeah. Because the company I work for, we eat up a lot of different other companies, so it's a Wild West shit show, basically. I don't know what to say. like overheard at GrrCON, Wild West shit show. But yeah, when you buy up different companies and then you have one developer over in the Netherlands saying, "Hey, yeah, I want to contribute to open source, but it's sketchy, and I'm not going to tell you what I want to contribute to." I'm like, well, then you're breaking policy, dude. So, but yeah. Anything else? Was it terrible? Was it good? Yeah. If I have to base it on where I'm working at right now, the question is, where do I see application security going? I feel like it might get better. Like right now, our team's brand new, so most of the people are either coming from a different company that we bought or we're brand new people. So my experience is kind of chaotic, but I feel like the acceptance of application security is becoming more, at least for our company. So it's becoming more acceptable, and people are realizing that they need web application security. Yes, Molly? Um, being that this is I guess it was a new year for us, like we had pushed out new policies. I feel like if you asked me that next year, it might be a little bit better, but there's still, you know, developing code, pushing it out in production, and not statically scanning. So, or pretending like they don't understand what I'm talking to them about. So, maybe next year I feel like it might be different. Yeah, the static and dynamic code. I do. I write a lot of documentation for them because they need steps to go through. If I would have gave them the product offhand, they wouldn't know what to do with it. So a lot of times it's just a scoping call of how does this product work, or you know, what are you gonna do to run a static scan? Yes, you need all your libraries. Yes, you need everything compiled into that folder. No, you can't leave stuff out. So, because they'll ask that question. Yeah, no, they'll ask, "Can I leave stuff out?" And I'm like, "No, it's a code scan. It's everything." So, do you have a question or no? No, it's a global company, so I work from home unless they want to come hang out with me. But so yeah, you can come sit with me and I will tell you how much you suck. No, I'm just kidding. No, like I'll be on the phone with people from India and then turn around and hit like the European developers. So it's also a very big cultural change too. So, or they'll pretend like they don't understand what I'm saying again. Just in a, I can't understand your accent. So, any other questions? Back there. Thanks. I have it. I keep trying to, and Aaron keeps telling me to learn some sort of coding, and I just kind of learn it to fix vulnerabilities. Like I like think about going to learn code, and then I freak out, and I'm like, well, I'll just do some pen testing instead. Doesn't so I want to eventually probably like actually sit down and force myself to make a project, like a coding project, but I haven't had the time or the I guess uh, the want, the drive. Thanks. Oh no, no, Aaron. My favorite dumb developer story. Well, I mean, I said it during my talk, but I'll go it again. They always have excuses for why their code is vulnerable, and I literally, like I said, had somebody on the phone with me tell me that's not cross-site scripting. That's just how my code works, and I don't know how to answer that because it is cross-site scripting. I'm not sure what else to say to that. Okay, well, it's still broken, and I'm sorry. And then we open up a ticket for you. Like, Jason, did you? Have I been able to convince my developers that SQL injections a not a security issue, but yeah, no. No. No, it's baby steps. Yeah. Yes and no. So they're some of them are very, I guess, accepting to it. Others will go out and throw them. So we had to pull information from the development managers, which is horrible. It's like herding cats. So if you imagine what herding cats is like, um, it's simple yes or no question or yes or no answers to my questions, and it's like yes, but on this release we did this, but on this one we did this, and so it kind of there's an acceptance, but it's always a yes, but uh, yeah. Oh no, not like herding, like sheep herding. I kill cats. That's where this went. What do I got? I have 5 minutes left. We're good? Yeah, we're trying threat modeling. It's rough. Like, no, it's and that's it. Like, so you'll probably get when you're in AppSec, you'll probably get told to do threat modeling, and you'll be like, "What? Threat modeling? Okay." And then you have to get back on the phone with them, and then they're gonna have to provide you with a network diagram, and they're gonna be confused, and I'm gonna be confused, and then you have to like assess all the little threat points. So yeah, we've tried. It's a new, definitely new developments. Jason? Hell no. Hell no. I was just like, well, shit. I ran over or did my talk really quick. Like Aaron told me so, and yeah, my feet are sweating. I should have took my shoes off. All right. Anyways, you guys didn't need to know that. Any more questions? Forgot I was mic'd. Good. All right. All right. Good clap for me.